this is my way of kind of saying I'm sorry for not getting to your comments. And let's just jump straight into it, okay? All right, first comment says, I've been binging your videos and I can honestly say your channel is so underrated. Thank you so much for what you do. You deserve way more subs. From Abra. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know about being underrated and not whatever. It is what it is. I just make content that I think is helpful. But if you find it helpful, that's good. It means I'm on the right track. Rare Reality Radio says, this was very informative. Thank you. And that was the how to practice voiceover by yourself video. Yeah, actually, surprisingly, that video is slowly becoming the most viewed video on my channel, which lets me know a lot about what people actually need in their voiceover journey when they're starting out. And surprisingly, it's not marketing. It's not even finding jobs. Many people want to be better actors, which I think is important. If you want to make money, you should want to be a better actor as opposed to finding more opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of an opportunity if you're not going to be able to deliver the goods to satisfy the client, you know? So I think sometimes people, and I'm guilty of it too, early on, putting the cart before the horse kind of situation. So yeah. Next one says, Joyce meets world. Joyce says, just 7 months ago, you were saying platforms like Fiverr and Upwork were okay to join. It's that bad already? As a starter, you'd say direct marketing is the way to go outside of P2Ps. Joyce, I did see your comment come in, and I debated whether or not I should make a video about it because I'm always careful about what I say, just because I know viewers put a lot of weight on my words. Not necessarily that I am the be-all, end-all of things related to voiceover, but as somebody who is further along and is in a position that people would like to see themselves in later, what I say matters. And so I'm always careful not to say things that will be twisted or misunderstood. And I think I'm being misunderstood here. And so maybe I should make a video about this because Fiverr and Upwork are okay to join. They were okay to join. And I'm not talking about how they're viewed in the industry. Like, whoa, you shouldn't be on Fiverr. Not like that, okay to join. I mean, it's okay to join because it's a way to find work, right? Is it bad? Meaning like oversaturated? Hell yes. And you know what, Joyce? You've convinced me. I will make a video about it. I can't guarantee you guys are going to like the video. I'm going to just always be as I am. I'm just real, you know? But yeah, I think that deserves a video. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Next one says, this is from my 10 obstacles you face to become a successful voice actor. Man, I have the opposite of inflated ego. I definitely have imposter syndrome. I don't know who I'm comparing myself to, but almost everything I've done just feels like poop. Very rarely I've done something or made something that I looked at and I was like content with. And I feel like if I got an agent, started booking, then all of a sudden nothing would throw me into a self-destructive self-doubt hole. Okay. And I'm trying to get out of that, but dude, yo, throw me a period, bro. Like what? It's all one sentence. Oh my goodness. Self-doubt hole. And I'm trying to get out of that, but I've just done it for so long. It's hard not to beat myself up, but I'm aware of the possibility that I could possibly catch myself before it gets too bad. Okay. Whew. Bro. Okay. Imposter syndrome is, I don't care how successful, meaning you got an agent, you got a manager, you've got awards, you booked this many jobs, you've made this much money. Trust me, I don't care how much of that you got. It will never, ever go away. The imposter syndrome, unless you are just an alien. Okay. Everybody suffers from imposter syndrome in any industry, in any job. It is what it is. It's the human condition. We are, as humans, I believe, programmed to seek not necessarily validation, but you don't want to go against the group because it's like a survival instinct. Like if you were not part of the group, then you would get killed and eaten by a bear or a lion or a tiger or some shit, right? So I think it's just what we do, seeking approval, not in a social media sense where you're trying to get likes and stuff. I'm talking about like you're trying to make sure what you're doing is okay to your peers, to your community. And I think that's kind of what causes a lot of imposter syndrome. I suffer with imposter syndrome today. I'm suffering through it right now as I make this video. Like people are asking me questions and I'm like, am I really the one to answer these questions? But what you can't do is let it stop you from moving forward. You have to, as one of my absolute favorite marketers of all time, his name is Seth Godin, Sethgodin. Seth Godin. He's written many, many, many books, but he talks specifically about imposter syndrome. And his suggestion is to not avoid it. It's rather to, as he says, dance with it. And what that means is imposter syndrome is here, right? And you're here, imposter syndrome is here. You acknowledge that it's there. You're like, I see you, imposter syndrome, or as he calls it, lizard brain, like as our primordial instincts to have that feeling. See it there and understand like, hey man, you're welcome to come along for the ride, but we're still doing this. And it's going to nag you and it's going to say, don't do that. That's not safe. That's dangerous. But you have to build up the tolerance of it being next to you as opposed to pretending it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Don't pretend it's not there. Rather, acknowledge that it's there and say, you can either come with me or what, but it's going to happen anyways. And I think that has given me a lot of permission. It allowed me to give myself permission to make moves in my career, moves in life, moves as a father. It's helped me a lot. It doesn't ever go away though. So I don't want you ever to think that getting an agent is going to make it easy for you. Make it like, oh, I'm finally got an agent. Now I don't feel like an imposter anymore. I'd argue that it makes it harder, like to be in my position because it's just people have more unrealistic expectations about what I can do or what I am, if that makes sense. So good luck to you. And I recommend reading Seth Godin's book. I can't remember the name of it. If I remember it, I probably won't remember it. But just Google Seth Godin, imposter syndrome, and it'll come up. You'll be able to find some information there. All right. I got to speed this up. Why waiting too long can hurt your voice acting dreams. I just found your channel. This is from eSticks. I just found your channel. I've been trying to find people who have similar voice pitches to mine, and I realized that I do have analysis paralysis. And when, wait, is this the same person? This is the same person. I was about to say, the lack of periods, the lack of punctuation let me know exactly whose comment I was reading. I'm gonna skip you on this one, and don't take it personal. I want to give other people an opportunity. Gary Robertson says, the actor's journey is one of self-discovery. As a quote from my video. I've heard that said so many different kumbaya touchy-feely ways through the years. You're the first person who actually makes practical sense of that statement. Thank you. It was something I had to figure out for myself too, man. Like, until you are able to feel comfortable and know exactly what you bring to the table, acting-wise, what your point of view is, you're always going to feel like you're copying somebody else. You're never really truly being yourself, and which is why you feel like you're acting. I've discovered, like, when you are so comfortable with what you are and you live or embody whatever character, whether it's in commercial or video games, whatever, you embody that character because it comes from you, that it never feels like acting. It just feels like an extension of yourself. And any of my more experienced actors, even like stage actors and stuff, if you have input on this, leave it in the comment, on his comment, and let me know. But yeah, it is one of self-discovery because you have to discover who you are and what your point of view and where you are in this world in order to bring that to your acting. As I believe it's Stella Adler. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's here. Stella Adler right here. The Art of Acting is a great book. You guys should read it. She says about like copying other people. If you just spend your whole career copying somebody, well, you're just going to be second best at best, because the person who you're copying is always going to be first. So why not just be yourself and be the best you can be? I think that's a great way to approach it. So, how to handle a voiceover career slump. Mr. Bucket says, I see you're not in the US. Okay, I made a video about this, I think. I'm going to pass on you, bro. Harley. And I did see your demo on online, Harley. Congratulations on the new commercial demo. Finding agencies to reach out to. I feel like I answered this question already. Yeah, perpetual research. Cool beans. Yeah. Getting an agent, guys, is in 2025, it's hard. And it's going to require more than a killer commercial demo. Think of it like dating. And actually, I should be careful saying that too, because from what I hear, dating in 2025 is much different from what it was when I was younger and dating. Anyways, we're not going to get into the weeds on that. But think of it like you're courting somebody. Yeah, a bank account might bring attention. A nice car, a nice outfit, beauty. Great conversation. All of these things might get attention. But ultimately, it's a partnership, and both sides should feel like they are benefiting. It should never feel one-sided. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that talent make when they're looking for representation, whether it's on the national stage or even at the regional or local stage, is they think too one-sided about it. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, my name is DJ Dykes. I have all this training. Here's my demos. I've done this, and this work, and I'd love to join your roster. Just in that opening statement, that sounds very much like, what can you do for me? Mr. and Mrs. Agent. Rather, why not approach the agent with something a bit more like they're going to get something from you? Just because you've booked in the past does not mean you're going to book with them. You know what I mean? Let them know where you see yourself in the future and how that future you will benefit them if they're the ones to help you build that career. You know what I mean? The days of talent agencies like developing fresh talent are pretty much gone. Unless you're just a wonderkind, like they typically don't do it these days from what I'm seeing. And so they want people who have established careers. So obviously if you have your own accounts and your own clients and you've been highly trained, that's all great stuff. But if you're missing any of those, it makes you a less desirable prospect for the roster. So commercial demo, if it's killer, it's going to get you in the door. It's going to get you a listen, especially if it comes with a referral from an industry player, some like a casting director or demo producer or something like that. But once they listen to you and they are interested, okay, let's have a meeting with Harley, for example. Hey, Harley, tell us about your recent accounts. Oh, I've done this job. And if your last booking was like a year ago, it's questionable. If your last booking was 6 months ago, better. But they want to know not only are you bookable, but what are you doing to get new work? Are you only on platforms? And some agencies don't like that you're on certain platforms like Fiverr, Upwork. Some of them don't even like Voices.com and Voice123. Do your homework on those agencies before you try to meet with them. Okay, because you can find a lot of information online. VO Buzz Weekly with Chuck Duran and Stacy, I forget her last name, but they have a lot of interviews with agents who will tell you straight up, I don't like talent that are on this website. They'll tell you. So if that's one of those agents and you are on their website, you probably don't want to submit to them. You know what I mean? But they'll ask you about what platforms you're working on. They'll ask you what are your direct marketing efforts like? How are you finding work? Are you full-time or part-time? How much of a business mindset do you have? Because those are telltale signs about how far they can take you or go with you rather. Okay. So if you're just like commercial demo, take me to your roster. There's thousands of people who say the exact same thing. What makes you different? If you haven't booked anything yet, that's okay. It's okay. When was your last workshop? Who are you currently coaching with? What do the coaches have to say? Can they vouch for you? You know what I'm saying? That's why I always make it a point. Every fucking month, I'm in a workshop. Every month. If you guys don't believe me, I'll send you a reference list of people who've been in the workshops with me. They're like, damn, DJ, you're back again? Hell yeah, I'm back. Okay, because you never know. You never know. I've gotten jobs from casting directors. I've had coaches send referrals for me. It makes the difference. Okay, but you have to constantly be building your voiceover business by yourself, and the agent is just there, and they help you get work. Because if you book, you both get paid. All right. So that's something to mention. And lastly, I know I'm going really long on this, but I'll extend this by like another 10 minutes if I need to. I had a conversation with one of my managers at ACM, and he talked about something called momentum. And he and I both agreed momentum is something that is very real in this industry, voice acting. When you book a job, especially through an agent or a manager, that gives them something to talk about to potential clients. A new voice buyer. Oh yeah, that guy DJ. Yeah, he just recently voiced a spot for Thumbtack, and also for Zillow. Yeah, he's been booking like crazy. To a client, so this guy's booking, this girl's booking, this person's booking. Like, okay, that means that maybe we should hop on that train because obviously their voice is in. Your voice is recognizable. Like they know you're a professional. They know you're somebody. They booked you for a reason. And so if you start booking jobs, always tell your coach, tell your casting director, tell your manager, tell your agent, let them know that you're booking these jobs, and it lets them know that there is momentum building behind your name. Because momentum comes in waves. And there's those troughs also, like as it goes down, those valleys. But if you continue doing the work that you need to do on your own and finding work and doing auditions and stuff, you'll eventually come back up and you'll ride another momentum wave. And that's just how it's been. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down. You can never go straight up forever. Okay. So anytime you find yourself hitting one of those downsides, that doesn't mean lose hope or get discouraged. It means start focusing your attention on improving your craft. That's why I say always focus on coaching and workshops in the troughs like this. And then as you start building momentum, you book a job and you get an avail check, a hold or something, you start going up again. If you're looking for representation, that's the time to look for representation, I think. It's like, okay, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, my recent booking, I just booked last week, because then they're like, oh, okay, you just booked something cool. And just take the conversation from there. It's harder to reach out to an agent when you're in the low point and you're like, oh, I haven't really booked anything in a while. I've just been doing a little bit of coaching here and there. You see how that hits differently? So there's always something you can do at different points. And I'll probably have to make a video about this whole thing because I just came up with it on the fly. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so we got repeat comments here. Which one should I read? Because I'm not going to read every single one of them. Let's do the second one. I have always been a kind of performer. That's my personality. So it worries me when you say it sounds performative because I think that's how I talk. I use my hands and emphasize words or add sounds to make my point, like grunts or ums or uhs. So should I try to minimize that? Okay, so this is from that the mock auditions video I uploaded. It's very popular, by the way. I was surprised how popular it was. If you guys are interested in a mock audition, I have an email sign up form down below. Just register your email there, and I'll shoot an email blast when I get ready to do the next one, which may be in the next week or two. But this is it with, I can't see your whole name. Gage B. Gagag B. When I mean performative, it basically means you're not acting as yourself. I don't mean performative like being in the theater and performing. That's not what I mean. When I say performative and commercial, it basically means you sound like an announcer. Introducing the new Sennheiser headphones made with this. Like that's performative. Because you're just making sounds to make it sound good. Whereas you need to be able to be whoever Gagagbi is. That would be you. And however that sounds. If gesticulating and making ums and grunts and stuff is in the moment what you would do, then do that. But it should never be done without intention behind it. It shouldn't be done without being informed by a pre-life or a scene built for yourself. All right? Because if none of the pre-life is built and you're just making all of these different changes to your voice and flapping your hands around and stuff, that is performing. And that's not voice acting. You know what I mean? That's not acting at all. That's just performing. Acting is behaving absolutely truthfully under the imaginary circumstances. Take that forward to sports. I got videos that talk about that all the time. I don't want you to misunderstand my words, though, okay? And I think I just accidentally put an AI comment in here, so let me delete that. All right, moving on. V Worldwide, what's up, bro? I haven't seen you in a while. I love this and learned a lot from this. Thank you. I haven't been getting notifications. Not sure how I missed those. Bro, I don't know, man. Like, I think if you haven't interacted with the channel in a while, that's kind of what happens. Unless like some new trending upload from that creator comes out, you won't get notified unless you have all notifications turned on. So that's why I have the little bell at the bottom next to the subscribe button. You can click that and it'll say, send me all notifications of all uploads. If you don't do that, then you probably will miss some of the uploads. So make sure you guys click the bell and turn the notifications on. Erica Calvert, so insightful, gained a lot of valuable tips listening to this. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, that's the mock auditions. So Steve Goose, great masterclass. Last 2 reads were good. You know what, man? All of the reads were good. And I don't mean all of the reads were bookable. I mean, all of the reads were good because they tried. I have met so many talent who just talk about doing things and say they want to be an actor and they want to be a voice actor and they want to get an agent, but you haven't recorded even a fake audition. And I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad if that's you, but maybe it should highlight something about what you're not doing, which is putting yourself out there. These people, it's anonymous. They know who they are. And if they want to know who they are in the comments, say, hey, that was me, number 7. If they don't do that, nobody knows who that is. You know what I mean? So, like, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by submitting an audition? What do you have to lose by reaching out to a coach and saying, hey, can you listen to my reads? What do you have to lose? Nothing. You only can gain from that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would say that all of the reads were good. And I respect everybody who submitted. Were some of the reads more bookable than others? Yes. Did some of the reads show better acting than others? Yes. But we're all at different stages in our careers. We're all at different stages in our development. And to see, I think that video was a great way to show you the difference between actors and people who are still trying to figure it out. And the more you train, you can see what could happen for you, where your reads just sound better. And let's be sure, some people are better naturally and more in tune with themselves and can do it faster naturally than others. But that does not mean that it is impossible for anybody else. It's just you have to work harder. But that's just life, isn't it? Like, some people are just naturally talented at sports, but you may have to try harder. You know, you may not even get it. You may not ever be able to jump, 44 inches in the air to go dunk on the rim or something, because I couldn't. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, man. You just got to know where you are, what your natural skill set is, and do you have to work harder than others? And are you willing to do that work? Are you willing to be humble and to know that I'm not as good as I think I am, and put in the work? So, yeah. Boom in shot. I'm not even sure what that means. Andy Jarvis. Hey, man, I think you made a YouTube channel. Congratulations on that, by the way. I tell people all the time, if you want to be a voice actor or an actor, why aren't you doing YouTube? But Andy, I think I did see one of your videos, and I hope you continue to make content. Thank you for reminding me. I should probably, can I see your channel here? Let me see. Can I see your channel? Well, you've been making content for a while. Never mind. Okay, maybe it wasn't you. I think there was somebody else that made a video. But regardless, you have content of some kind out there, so that's good. Okay. Well, continuing on. Let's see. What the fuck is wrong with me? I read it as butt rocket mortgage. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Anyways, butt rocket mortgage, not butt rocket. Come on, man. We'll keep going, man. I said 20 minutes, but we'll keep going. I am sweating though. I'm gonna turn my fan on. Open Hearts Unite. Thank you. Trying to get into voice acting and figure out how to make samples. I got videos on my channel that'll help you get your DIY demo going, so check those out. Another comment for the mock audition video. Andrew Hibbard. Yo, Andrew, I think you gave me a super chat, like the donation. Uh, I think that was you. And if it was, thank you, man. There's only been 2. And I'm not saying, guys, donate to me. I'm not saying that at all. But I've never received one before. And I think yours was the first, and it blew my mind. I'm like, wow, somebody actually donated money to the channel. Thank you. This is great. Thanks, DJ. Anyone know a good place where I could post? Anyone know of a good place where we could all post our reads and give each other feedback? Oh, interesting question, Andrew. I'm going to put it out there now. I was going to shoot out an email blast to those of you who signed up on my email mailing list. Obviously, my time is limited, which is why I created the coaching service. This is also why I created DJ's VO sounding board. If you want feedback on your reads or your auditions, or maybe you want live help on your audition, just like 15 or 20 minutes. Just because it's hard for me I would love nothing more than to just talk to people about voice acting and geek out about it all the time. But I just don't have the time, and I do like to separate my work and my family time as much as possible. However, at the risk of sounding like every other damn voiceover coach out there, like I think it would be easier to just have a central place where we can all post comments and help each other out, and I can chime in on stuff as I see it come through. And I was thinking about making like a Facebook group. Somebody recommended Discord, but to be honest with you, I don't really use Discord. But if that's something you guys are interested in, where we can make a Facebook group and you guys can join, it would be a paid subscription to the group and stuff, just because it will involve more time on my part. And I still don't know the logistics of how I would do that. I'm trying to figure it out. But like, doing like mock auditions or going live and then walking through my live auditions and stuff. I know there's other people that do it, but it's me. I'd rather just do my own thing. But if that's something you guys are interested in, I have the email sign up list, and let me know in the comment if you guys are interested in something like that. And then, yeah, thank you again for the donation, Andrew. If that was you, thank you so much. And if I'm giving false praise, it wasn't you, whoever left the donation, thank you. Next one, Marcin Kizborski. This is the authoritative voiceover. Thanks. Great video. Thanks. Let me see what else we got. The mock audition video got a lot of comments. Oh, Sergio. Sergio has been kind of communicating back and forth with me. He's done several of the DJ's VO sounding board sessions where I send him feedback on his audio and stuff. And just from his first read until these days reads, like he's improved so much. It's still a work in progress, obviously, but I have noticed him implementing the changes, and I can hear him. See, the thing about Sergio is, and I hope he's watching this because you know what I'm talking about. Some people they have a natural announcer sound to the way they talk, and those people tend to have a harder time getting into that real commercial sound. But what Sergio does have is good acting chops, great acting chops, actually. It's just there's a disconnect between his natural acting ability and trying to sound like himself. And that's what we're trying to bridge right now. But I have noticed the improvement. So hats off to Sergio for putting in the work. I loved watching this fantastic masterclass. This is a great way to learn. You should definitely do more mock auditions like these. I appreciate the feedback, man. Like, yeah, I also thought it was great, which is why I think I'm gonna keep doing them. But it takes a lot of time, to be honest with you. So I think eventually, if I do make like a group or something, like those mock auditions would just have to be in the group behind a paywall or something. Just because, like, I think that mock audition one, it took me a while, actually, not just doing the review of them, but also like editing and chopping and cutting and stuff. So yeah. I'm glad you guys find value in it, though. Kim Quick says, "Oh, how to lose money in voiceover." Okay, thanks for this, DJ. I'm a little confused though about how and where I should be getting some reputable training. Without getting caught up in one of the mills, I recognized a mill a couple of months ago and decided to remove myself from the company. But since I'm new at this To me, everything is about getting the training. But how do you get the training without falling victim to the training mills? The age-old question. It's funny because voice acting it's an industry just like any other industry. We could be talking about vacuum cleaners here. All right? Like, you're always going to have bad actors. And I don't mean that in a funny pun way. I mean that in a way like there's always going to be somebody who's just there for the money grab. And the signs that somebody is about the money grab are almost always the same. They're universal. One of the ways to know if it is a money grab or if they are not necessarily a great place, use the word reputable, is to look for the reputation, right? Like, ask them about previous clients, read reviews, check social media. Are people talking about them? Check their LinkedIn. Have their students seen success? And you have to be aware that it's easy to cherry pick people's success stories. However, one thing is for sure. Even if you have the best coach, some people are just lazy and don't like putting in the work. And they only work when they're with the coach. So they won't do homework by themselves. I have found that it's a fake statistic I'm just throwing out there right now, 90% of the development as a voice actor happens outside of any kind of coaching session or workshop. It's all by yourself. I got acting books all over the place in this tiny booth, and I'm constantly spending time in nature. I'm constantly trying to absorb things around me. It's a constant learning process, which it kind of harkens back to the comment earlier, acting is a journey of self-discovery. Self-discovery, meaning it happens by yourself. So while it's easy to place the onus of responsibility on the coach, which is why you would search for a reputable coach, even the best coach can't fix you. It's like that whole adage about you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink kind of thing. You can book with Tina Marasco every day if you wanted to, if you got the pockets like that. And Tina is probably the best commercial coach that I've ever met. However, if you ain't going to do the work by yourself, it doesn't make any difference. So when people come to me for coaching, and I haven't been coaching very long as in an official way, but when people come to me and they say, hey, DJ, I want to coach with you, we hop in a session and I'm always paying attention. Obviously, do you have potential? And I don't mean that in a disparaging, you got the potential to be great. What I mean is what is your work ethic like? What is your schedule like? What are your responsibilities outside of voiceover like? All of this matters to a coach because I don't want to waste my time with somebody who I know is not going to put in the work. I'm not going to take your money. You know what I mean? And any coach who is willing to just take your money and they know that you aren't going to try hard. They know that you are just doing it and going through the motions. And week after week after week, they continue to take your money from you. To me, that's a red flag. You know what I mean? Ethically, or not ethically, morally, that's a red flag to me. So I rarely will take on long-term coaching clients. I think I only have 2 right now. Just because I don't want to waste my time. It frustrates me when people don't do the work. So long answer, but Kim, you need to do your homework and create a short list of potential coaches that you'd like to work with, and then ask them for a coaching session. Some of them will offer consultations, but you want to spend time with them and see what the vibe is like, because just like you're vetting them, they're vetting you. Demo producers, reputable demo producers, are the same way. You want a demo, they want their clients' demos to be in the right hands. So demo producers will also vet you. Are you trained? Are you able to act? If I create your demo, is it going to sound like shit? It's always a two-way street with this. And anybody who approaches it one way, meaning they just want your money, is a red flag. So that's how you know they're not reputable. Okay? But I think as long as you can find a short list of great coaches and spend time with them, find the ones that vibe with you, you should be okay. And I'm not saying that's me. I'm just saying go around social media and LinkedIn, ask successful voice actors, ask who they coach with, ask them if they could refer you to the coach. Okay. So that, anyways, and there's coaches for different stages of your career. Perfect example is I was looking for animation and video game coaches last month. For the first time, I was like, I'm going on video games and animation. I had 2 coaches tell me they would not coach me because after talking to me back and forth in email, they realized that I was down here, beginner-wise, skill-wise, I'm a beginner. They focus on the advanced ones. They want the advanced students. And I get it. I wasn't butthurt about it. It's just, I respect that. This lady knows that she deals with the more experienced actors. It would be a waste of her time to hold my hand and say, let's break down a script. Like, come on now. So that's another thing I just kind of threw out there, but hopefully that answers your question a bit, Kim. Wow, this is going way past 20 minutes. Oh, man. Hey, it's Robert Valena. I have to recheck my audition macro. Okay, so Robert actually submitted on that mock audition video. What number was he? I can't remember what number he is, but he's in there. Anyways, but check your audition macro to make sure it's normalizing the right way, dude. And you did give a very solid read. I'm glad you joined. If you guys haven't checked out Robert's YouTube channel, Day One Voiceover. But he's very transparent about his journey. And he and I have talked a number of times back and forth because he's brave enough to put himself out there on his content. It's not easy to show people like the flubbubs of you walking through your journey. And, he doesn't just show the wins. He's showing the downs. Like, I know he went through this non-booking period until he got his recent booking. So I really highly recommend checking out his channel if you're really interested in, I think I said really like 3 times there. If you're interested in the journey from the beginning. So yeah, check that out. Nate and I have talked back and forth as well. This is awesome. DJ and Shaman, thank you. This was the audiobook narrator's video. And I know, when I uploaded that video, I already knew it was going to be a hard view for people. Like a lot of people are so caught up in these shorts and they give me the quick information. Attention spans are fucking shot these days. I don't understand it. And so looking at the analytics on this video, I can see that many people get into the video and they leave because they want the quick. I would argue that it's better to listen to a person like Shaman as opposed to a 30-second YouTube short telling you, here's the fastest way to make 6 figures as an audiobook narrator. If somebody can tell you how to make 6 figures as an audiobook narrator in 30 seconds, I have another sack of shit to sell you. Okay? And I'm saying that as respectfully as possible. There is no quick and fast and easy way to anything in this industry. And the interview with Shaman Casey is a part-time audiobook narrator, has over 50 books under his belt, self-built career, self-made audiobook narrator, came in with 0 training, knew what he had to do, did what he had to do, works full-time in another whole different job. And is he's gaining momentum. And he does the work, man. This dude is constantly hustling to find work. This is a great video to watch. It's a long one. It's like an hour or maybe it's 45 minutes, but it's long. And it's wordy. But if you don't have the attention span to figure out how to be successful and you needed to be in a 30-second clip, all right, we'll see. We'll see who succeeds first, you or the one who can sit through that long video, because it's just jam-packed with information about not just how to be an audiobook narrator, but the business side of it. The business side of it is more important than the acting side of it, I think. So check out the video if you haven't. It's such a value-packed video. Nate again. Willie of Nilly. Wow, long comments. But what's it? I'm sorry, I'm skipping through it. I have to create a quality product. I can't stand putting out work that isn't good. Of course, how would I even know what that is in VO without training? The demo, DIY demo, where to put it once I actually finish it. I'm saying I'm going to make a video. All right. Harley kind of got me started on it, but I'm going to make a video about this because I think some tough love is necessary and in these cases. A lot of people are looking for the handouts. And I'm not, Nate, bro, I'm not throwing shade at you. It's just the principle. There's a lot of unknowns, but I feel like those unknowns can be answered if people did a little bit of searching, because I did. And that's what I'm saying. But the fact that you're asking me means you respect my opinion enough to wait for my answer. So let me make a video about it. That way I don't have to keep answering the question 500 times. Let's see. Neglectif? I don't know. Thanks for the tough love on number. Oh, okay. So you were the ones that submitted. Okay. He was number 8 on that mock audition video. You got my pre-life mixed up with someone else's. I don't have a little brother. Sorry about that, man. Yeah. I guess I opened the wrong email when I was going through. But listening to the others, I will definitely add more specifics to mine in the future. I get what you mean about the standard commercial read being different from not announcer. Very much appreciated. I want to make sure that I know who you are, because if, let's see, where are we at? Or did I delete the video already? I may have deleted it because I don't like taking up space on my. Oh, here we go. You said you were number 8. Let me see. What you should sound like. You look at what kind of ads. Actually, it's a very good read. So I can bring the rest of it up. Sorry. Okay, so that was your read. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't think me knowing what your pre-life actually was would have made a difference because the result was still the same. It sounded announcery. But I think if you take the feedback I gave you and really try to focus on how not to be an announcer, you do have the potential to give a great read. And it's hard because we are all bombarded with commercials all the time. And growing up, I mean, looking at your profile photo, I would say you're probably in your maybe 30s to 60s. I'm not going to make a judgment on exactly, but we grew up with commercials on TV, like on radio, like traditional radio in the car, right? And so those sounds are like implanted in us. And like, we just think that's what a commercial sounds like. And so unless you pay attention to every commercial these days and how they sound very different from the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s, and then you decide to go into voiceover today, you're going to default to how they used to be back in the day. So I don't fault you for having an announcer sound. It's just spend time listening to today's commercials. Go to iSpot.tv, listen to all the commercials that come out every week. They put them out every week, the top 10, and you can even go back and look at the archive. And then just continue to absorb that sound. Record yourself doing things. Record it, make a YouTube channel, just talking. And so you become very familiar with how you sound as you. Because if you don't do that, you'd never know. Okay, I don't want to quote the Sanford Meisner quote again because I say it like 1,000 times on this channel. But acting is behaving absolutely truthfully under the imaginary circumstances. How can you behave truthfully if you never pay attention to how you sound to begin with? You know what I mean? We are voice actors. We have to know what our voice sounds like. So spend time listening to how you sound. And an easy way to do that is to make a YouTube channel or just record videos and keep it on your hard drive and watch it for yourself. Okay. Cooper's Charms said, thank you for Oh, look, you were guys, the email name and the YouTube name are very different. So I'm realizing in real time who these people are. Number 10, she was the one that I said if that was a real casting, I would book that one. Yeah, number 10 was killer. I'm shocked by how much you liked it. I'm still in my self-study phase. There you go, guys. Self-study is the way. So this taught me a lot. I will definitely adhere to the time limit more in the future. It wasn't a big deal. Listening to everyone else's takes was super valuable too. And well done to everyone for putting yourselves out there. See, guys? It was really hard for me to do, but I knew how valuable the critique would be. Thank you for inviting us all to be a part of this. Her read was number 10. And just off the top of my head, like what made her read great was just how real it was. It was like a real person talking. It wasn't put on. It wasn't announcery. It was so grounded in a reality that she created for herself. And if she's still early on and it's her self-study phase, again, like I just told the previous guy, younger people tend to be better at this because the Gen Z, they're just used to being like that, you know? And millennials too, to a certain extent, but Gen Xers, boomers, it could be a bit harder to be real like that and grounded. But your read was very excellent. I don't think I need to gush over it anymore because I already gushed for like a full, 15 minutes in the video. Stacy Bertrand. First read was 20 seconds. Second read was 10 seconds. So I'm learning pacing when you do the take. Where can you choose what to speed up and what to slow down and how to make it sound real and honest? Okay, now I will listen to it. So you must have been commenting in real time. So this is actually a good question. I am sweating, by the way, if you guys can see the glistening perspiration on my forehead. Shining bright like a diamond. So this is something you develop over time. You develop an internal clock. Okay, I know what 15 seconds feels like. I know what 30 seconds feels like. I know if the person says, hey, DJ, great read, but we need to chop a second off. You know what that feels like. Starting out, you don't have it yet, obviously. So always practice with your DAW running. Always record your practice sessions as much as possible. Because if you do a read, you can go back and see, okay, that was 20 seconds. Okay, and this one's 17 seconds. Okay, this one's 14 seconds. How does it sound? How are you making those changes? And it is challenging to speed something up while still maintaining the realness and the conversationalness of it, especially if you are a person who speaks slower than others in general. How can you sound fast if you don't sound fast naturally? Well, yeah, you just have to practice. Where can you speed up? Rather, where can you slow down is the better way to think about it. Don't think about where you can speed up. Think about where you can slow down. You can always slow down the first time the name of the brand is mentioned. And I don't mean like introducing Lays. I don't mean like instant replay slow down, but just draw it out a little bit. All right. The first time the name is mentioned, if they're rattling off some special features of that product, or, this is what differentiates us from the competitor, those need to be articulated and easily heard. Okay. So you don't want to blast through those. Other stuff beyond that is not that important. Okay. Because you only need to make sure that the consumer hears the brand name, what it does better than others or differently from others, and their slogan at the end. You understand what I'm saying? So websites, they can be read fast. Phone numbers typically can be read fast. Things like any other filler words, a long time ago, our company wanted to be the best at doing this. So we discovered that like all of that could be blasted through. Okay. But what you don't want to do is like pop the clutch. You don't want to be jerky with it, A long time ago, we thought our business wasn't good. And so we decided to do this. And now introducing Lay's potato chips. Like you don't want to do that. Again, it just takes practice. But those are the things you should slow down on, if that makes any sense. And now when I say slow down, I really just mean billboard it a little bit, stretch it out just a tad bit so that the listener has time to register what you're saying. Okay, maybe we'll do a few more. Wow, this is 50 minutes. My God. Maximum Gaming said, thank you so much for the feedback on number 9. Oh, another one. I'll definitely work on my pre-life more and keep the consistency with the read. Your read was good too, man. Like your read was actually, it if number 10 wasn't there, you might have won. It was between you and number 4. But that was a solid read that you gave. So thank you again for participating. Teresa was number 4. I'm just going to put you out there. I don't know if you want people to know that, but she was number 4. And the reason why, and I swear I wasn't giving love to Teresa in the video because I know who she is. I'm giving love to Teresa in there because Teresa is another person who has coached with me and worked with me for a little while. And I'm not taking credit for anything that she's done. It's all self-study. But compared to when the first reads I heard from Teresa and where she is now, she has settled in to who she is, or I should say is settling in. It's never a complete process, but she was at the first time I met her, she was a bit concerned about her accent. She was a bit concerned about, and she had some things about the way she would over enunciate words because she was worried about her accent. But the thing is, her accent is what really makes her her. And her point of view in life and just her natural sass is so good. It would be a disservice to herself to not lean into that as the reads call for it. And then also, she has the other side where she can be corporate and sound professional. She has that in her. She's done that in the past. So to hear her progression as a voice actor and hear her development, she's still waiting for those bookings. But as a coach, hearing that development makes me feel confident that it's going to come for her. It's just a matter of preparing yourself for those opportunities because that's when luck strikes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you go, girl. Robert Starling. Robert also submitted. Robert and I have talked back and forth a few times because Robert is older and he's not a natural voice actor. He's not coming from an acting background. He's coming from a production side background. He is starting from scratch. And so he also has a bit of announceriness to his reads, but I can hear he's also making progress. He understands what he has to do. And I don't think I've ever met another voice actor who has the same work ethic that Robert has. Like his work ethic is off the charts. I mean, he's created several highly successful companies. So he definitely has the entrepreneur thing locked in. It's just, the time you got to put into acting, he's doing it. And so it's really impressive to see his progress as well. Kenny Solward Books. Thanks, DJ. I'm currently practicing narrating my own novels. So your guidance has been great. This should be a good vid. Sweet, man. Good luck on your novels and stuff. Kevin D says, thank you, DJ. I needed to hear this. I definitely suffer from heavy analysis paralysis. Not just analysis paralysis, heavy. He suffers from that HAP. H-A-P. Yeah, man. This is that why waiting too long can hurt your voiceover acting dreams. I'm glad that I was able to draw your attention and everybody else's attention to it because it is not easy for some of you who have to plan everything out. It can be, I understand. I don't experience it personally. It's just, I can understand how that can stop you from achieving your dreams at the rate that you want to. My wife is the same way. She is a planner and analysis paralysis, hands down. So we complement each other very well. She covers my blind spots. So yeah. Fitted Misfits says, are you an Aries or other fire? No, I'm a Virgo, but I don't really do the whole Zodiac thing. If that's you, that's great. But no, I think Virgo, what is it? Is it water or is it earth? I don't know. But anyways, I am not an Aries. Vivi Mitzi. There are lots of excuses that come along with being an over planner. To humble my pride, I know I'm the over planner, and I'm not ashamed to say that. It's because I'm used to being organized and making sure I have what I need. God damn, this long comment. Woo. Not going over the top, but having the bare minimum. Sometimes, I mentioned this in the video about this. You know who the overanalyzers are and overplanners are because they leave the longest comments. It's like a telltale sign right there. Sometimes, okay, I'm going to skim through here. Grant, I know about prolonging hinders progress I could be making, but I practice when I can, balancing a full-time job. It's better time management and prioritizing free time. Even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes of our time, there's no excuse. So my question to you, Vivi Mitzi, this was 2 weeks ago. What have you done in the last 2 weeks to move closer towards your goal? This is why I made the video, by the way, and this is not a shot at Vivi Mitzi. But this type of person, the planner, will leave long comments telling us about what their plan is. But a plan is useless without action. Okay, you have to execute on the plan. And so when somebody comes to me for coaching or whatever, I'm always going to ask you, well, what are you doing? Like, what did you do today to move closer towards goals? All right. Yeah. So my question to you is, let us know in the comments. Hold yourself accountable. What have you done with your 10 to 20 minutes of your time every day? Okay. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm always going to fully support anybody's efforts or dreams to become a voice actor, but I am very pragmatic about this. And it's like, you just got to do it. And so if you just keep talking to me about what you're going to do, I lose interest. And I'm like, all right, I'll holler at you later. Okay. Cause I need to move my own career forward. So, just let me know what you're doing. Amanda Megan Perez says, where do you feel is the best platform to apply? This is not a side towards you, Amanda. It's a side towards the general question. I have videos on my platform that talk about this. Or on my channel, not platform, that talk about this. There is no best platform though, Like are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Are you advanced? Are you overseas? Are you stateside? Do you have agents? Do you not have agents? Are you old? Are you young? Do you have like a great microphone? Do you not? Like, how trained are you? There's so many variables that you have to consider that there's no way to say what is the best one, because if it was the best one, that's where everybody would be, and they wouldn't be the best anymore because it's oversaturated. You get what I'm saying? So do your homework and figure out what fits into your business. It's your business. So I have suggestions on my channel. Check them out, vet them, see if they're a great place for you or not, and then make a decision about what is the best, and maybe report back and say, hey guys, this is what I found to be the best for me. And maybe others might gain value from your insight. And this is why I think making like a paid group would be beneficial, because I can make these videos on my channel, right? But I'm at the mercy of the algorithm for my answers to reach people, because I made videos that talk about this months ago, but many people have not seen them, obviously. But if there's like a group and I can put these questions, that people ask the questions, I can answer them. You can always just search the archive. You know what I mean? Like, okay, has somebody searched for this already? So maybe I will look at the making a Facebook group or something, because it's not that I don't want to answer the questions. I just don't like repeating myself. Hey, DJ, thanks for the pep talk today. I was somewhere between MVP and paralysis. Now that I'm moving forward, I've experienced imposter syndrome. I talked about that earlier in the video. So hopefully that answered your question. How to create a DIY voiceover demo video says, this is by far some of the best info I've found in creating your own demo. I'm just starting my career and your content has helped me immensely in such a short amount of time. Okay, so just real quick, you should never go to an agent with a DIY demo, even if you are like an advanced audio producer, because you need to have an unbiased ear direct your acting. However, beyond getting representation, I argued that there's nothing wrong with a DIY demo. And if anybody wants to argue me in the comments, let me know your argument. But what is the point of a demo? Honestly, what is the point of a demo? Well, it depends on where the demo's going. If the demo is going on a pay-to-play, or if it's going on Fiverr, do you really need to pay $2,500 for that demo? Let's be real. That's $2,500 to make a smaller amount of money. You would have to book a bunch of jobs on these platforms just to pay off the demo. You're already in the hole. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself in the hole on something like that. It doesn't make any sense. The reason why you pay for a demo with these top demo producers is so that you can land a national agent or even a regional agent and let that agent send you opportunities, auditions, and hopefully you book those and pay off the demo very quickly. All right. A great booking with a national agent will pay your demo off 10 times over, like straight up. Like we're talking, you will pay that shit off real quick. But again, if you're not going to get an agent and you're just trying to direct market and you're just trying to go on Fiverr or voices.com, voice123, is it really necessary to go balls to the wall with a highly produced demo, especially if you are in your first 3 years of your career where you're still incrementally improving every day? And that improvement curve is it's kind of exponential in a way. It kind of does this movement here, and then you kind of slowly, it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you start lifting weights, like those beginner gains, they come real quick. You get muscle real quick, especially if you've never exercised before. That's kind of how voiceover is. But just like working out at the gym, after a certain point, getting those muscle gains, you can't gain as quickly as you did at the beginning forever, unless you're doing like anabolics or something, steroids. So your growth will start to slow, and it's just incremental growth over the years. Voice acting and acting in general is no different. It doesn't make sense to get a highly produced, highly expensive demo at the beginning of your career because you will outgrow that demo faster than a cat can lick its ass. Okay? I just realized I said, my dad says that shit. Hold on. Oh, man. Faster than a cat can lick its ass. Anyway. I'm turning into my father. Wow. Anyways, so yes, DIY demos have a place in the industry, guys. I will argue it to my grave. All right. And if anybody wants to argue against me in the comments, that's fine. Let me know. But I will always question, who are you? Are you a demo producer? Are you a coach? Are you somebody who has already been in the industry for 20 years? If so, I feel like your opinion might be a bit skewed and biased. Okay. So anyways, I've already answered one from you, Nicola, so I'm going to move on. Gail Neal, done is better than perfect. I just do it. I learn as I go along. When I know better, I do better. Hey, that's what I've done for most of my career, but do what works for you guys. All right, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just do what works for you. Todd Dean says, great advice, DJ. Wow. Woo. Woo. Okay, wow. Okay. I'm going to have to pass on this just because of time. It's not that I don't want to read your comment. I'm just going to move on. Let's skip down here. How to become okay, it's my very first long form video here on the channel. How to become a voice actor in 2025 with no experience. Not me depressed about my blue Yeti. It's a running joke in the industry. It's like, oh yeah, you're recording in your bathroom with a blue Yeti. Like this running joke. Blue Yetis are not terrible microphones, but they should never be your first choice when it comes to recording voiceovers. It just shouldn't be. It's nothing to be depressed about. Just recognize that you will need to upgrade your microphone when you want to be serious about this. And the good news is the technology has advanced to the point now where even excellent microphones are not that expensive, relatively speaking. A couple to a few $100 could get you a very, very good microphone. What's more important is always the space that you're recording in. And so I will probably make a video about recording in my booth with this iPhone microphone, with a little lavalier microphone, just to give you guys an idea of how the audio might sound different. So thank you for giving me a video idea. Tenant Mary says, same video, how to become a voice actor. Why you not tell the shortcut? There's a shortcut? Take acting classes. Go take showcases with agents. They hear you, they know you. That's a shortcut, B. I don't know if that B is intentional, like, yo, that's a shortcut, B, or if that's like a typo. This is the last one I'm going to answer. Wait, should take acting class. Acting classes is the first thing. Okay. This is the last question I'm going to answer. I'm going to end this video here. Oh, there are no shortcuts. Say it with me. There are no shortcuts in this industry. Just like there's no shortcuts to becoming an engineer or a doctor or a stage actor or a parent, a great parent. There are no shortcuts in life. There are ways that work better for you than others. And it works better, the keyword is you. There are billions of people in the world, and everybody will find that something helps them more than something else. If that does work better for you, then, for example, for Tenant Mary, if acting classes, like in actual acting classes, helped you grow faster than getting in front of the microphone and doing a bunch of reads by yourself, excellent. That means you found something that works for you. But it's disingenuous and can be a bit damaging, I think, to say that you have to go to acting classes first because that's the fastest way to become a great actor or voice actor. Let's focus on voice acting. I think that's a bit dangerous because there are, as you saw in that mock audition, there are so many people who are just starting out. Number 10 is I said I wasn't going to gush about her read anymore, but number 10, the last read, was fucking excellent. And she just told me, she's just starting out. She's doing a lot of self-practice. Why are her reads so good if she's supposed to go to acting classes first? Some people just do better with self-practice. Some people do better with just going to a coach. Some people do better reading from a book, getting an acting book and reading it. You have to find what works for you the best. Tenant Mary, I'm so glad that you found that acting classes are the way for you to get your skills. I found that acting classes were helpful, but they weren't what really pushed me. My self-practice and actually reading acting books and understanding the concepts myself and internalizing how to apply those to my own reads, and then taking that realization into a workshop and trying to put it on display in front of a coach like Tina Marasco, for example, and then finding the shortcomings in my own practice and Tina kind of correcting a few things, going back on my own time, reconciling all of those things I learned in the workshop with what I learned in the book, with my own skill set and what I'm good at, has pushed me further in my career than if I were to spend 8 hours a day in somebody's acting class. This is me, though. Again, you may be a person who needs to go to a workshop. And on workshops, she does make a good point. I will give her credit for going to showcases with agents. Agents will hold workshops to hear new voices. It's almost like scouting. They won't tell you this directly. And there's always be a disclaimer that says this is no guarantee of work or of representation or anything. This workshop is purely for educational purposes only. And sometimes agents will hold workshops as a form of goodwill and just to give back to the voiceover community, but they do get paid for being there. You know what I'm saying? So there is some transactional value happening there, but it would be naive to think that going to a workshop in front of an agent or a casting director is a place that you go to practice, like as a newbie. And I see so many people going to workshops, practicing for the very first time in front of an agent or a casting director. And the casting director hears your reads and like, oh, okay, well, that's not bad. Let's try this. And they try directing you and you're not very directable because you're just starting. I don't think that's a great way to approach workshops. Again, this is my opinion. You guys can argue me in the comments if you want to. But I have to believe that, as Tenant Mary is saying here, it's a time to showcase your talent to the agent. I got signed with I got signed with one agent and my management company in a workshop. They didn't actually sign me in the workshop, but after the workshop was over, the signing conversation happened. But that was only because I was so prepared and had my game plan set up Okay, on my calendar, I got this workshop with this manager on this date. It's 4 weeks from now. It gives me 4 weeks to get my shit together. And I spent those 4 weeks to get my shit together. And in the workshop, all right, DJ, this is it. All right, DJ, what are you going to read for us? I'm going to read this. All right, go for it. Read it. You can see see the agents and see the manager's face light up. Like, oh shit, okay. And then they try, okay, let's throw a curveball. Let me redirect you in a way that you may not have been expecting. You got to be prepared for the redirects. That was a great read. Let's try it in this way. Bam, knock it out the park. Okay, let's redirect you one more time. Bam, knock that out the park. Congratulations, you have successfully completed the workshop. That is how that is one of the most effective ways to land an agent or manager, is to absolutely blow their socks off in a workshop. And that is exactly how I got the attention of ACM talent. And I'm not saying this to be braggy. I'm just saying, if I had gone into the workshop unprepared, maybe a newbie. Oh, ACM talent's having a workshop. Maybe I should register for this workshop, even though it's my first year. That doesn't sound like a very good move to me. It doesn't, unless you are just naturally talented like that. But even then, are you directable? Like, being directable comes with training. Understanding who you are, your points of view. You should have many, many points of view and be able to access those points of view at any given time. When the manager or agent says, that was a great read, DJ, now let's redirect it differently. Let's imagine that as soon as they say, let's imagine, your eyes should be closed and you should be ready to build a new scene. Let's imagine, instead of being at the cafe, now you are, you're in the store or you're at your house, you're talking to your grandma and your grandma, and she's building the scene for you. You need to be there building the scene in your mind. Stella Adler talks about this. Stella Adler talks about how to build the scene quickly, and it takes time and practice. And then once the manager or agent finishes redirecting you and helping you build a new scene and say, now let's read it that way. You should have already built it while she was saying that or he was saying that, and you go. That's how fast a redirect needs to happen. And they say, damn, that was a great read. Let's try it one more time. They build another scene for you. Or they'll say, instead of talking to your mom or your grandma, let's imagine that you're talking to your best friend. It's a bit more high energy. And let's see what you give me. Eyes closed. Think about it. Build a scene. Let's go. And you give a great read again. Tenant Mary is giving a solid piece of advice here. It's a showcase for the agent in order for you to get signed to a roster. Even if they don't have a spot fully open on the roster and you become a full-fledged member of the roster, there's something called hip pocketing, which is essentially they say, hey, here's a handshake agreement. We'll keep you on the roster for 2 or 3 months, maybe a year. Just see what you do. See if you book something. And if you book something, they are going to sign you. All right. If you don't book anything, they'll consider, maybe this ain't working out. Sorry, bye. See you later. But move on to the next. Man, the thing is, the point is, don't approach a workshop as simply a time to have fun and chill and meet other voice actors. That's what workout groups are for. All right. Not a workshop, a workout group. Okay. So anytime you see a workshop being being taught by any LA or New York agent, any LA or New York manager, or any big regional agent, you need to think twice about registering for that. Are you ready for this agent to see you for the very first time? Because first impressions are lasting impressions. Agents typically don't forget you. And they may not remember exactly why they didn't choose to move forward with you during your first workshop and maybe reach out for signing you. But they do remember not signing you. And so you have to overcome that obstacle, that mental block. In the second workshop or third workshop, you have to keep overcoming what you did in the first performance. Be very strategic about how you approach those workshops. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am telling you to be strategic.